Hi everyone, I'm back with a new video. The last two videos have done pretty good, I think. The sad reality of being a physical media collector has just gone ridiculous. Lots of comments, tons of views. I think it's on 12, maybe 13,000 views now, which is insane to me. The last video I posted about streaming and physical media, I think is like 1,500 views, which is really cool. So I just wanted to carry on the sort of discussions about the difference of like the importance of physical media, of collecting movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS, Laserdisc for some of you. But I've got a couple of examples that I want to use to get my point across. This video is the why creating an archive of cinema is incredibly important for film fans, to cinephiles and movie lovers all over the place. These are there's just a couple of examples that I've found while going through the collection. These are on DVD. I think maybe there's one Blu-ray, which I will also want to touch on why I think DVD is as more important than Blu-ray or 4K and VHS, because, like I said, I've got like 9,000 movies in my collection. The majority of those are DVDs. I don't own any VHS tapes anymore. So going through the collection, trying to find some examples of movies that I think will fit this video was quite easy because of the amount that there are. The whole point of this video is to talk about why having a collection or building your own archive of cinema is important for the future, for your future, I guess, for our future. These movies are films that I'm not 100% sure if you can get on Blu-ray. I know maybe there's one or two that you can't get, but some of these are British releases, some of them are American releases. Here in the UK, there is a very limited amount of titles that you can get due to rights issues in the UK. The best example is Arrow announced that they were releasing a 4K release of Conan the Barbarian. I love Conan the Barbarian. It's one of my favourite movies. I've got 2 DVDs of it. I've got the Blu-ray from the US, which is region free, by the way, and I've got the Blu-ray of Conan the Destroyer. Now, I am not 4K. I've got an Xbox that plays 4K, but my television is not 4K. It's just full HD. I'm tempted to import it because 4K is region free, but I'm not in a hurry to get it because I can play the normal DVD and the normal Blu-ray through either a DVD player or the Xbox or a PlayStation. So I'm not really in a hurry to buy that because it's available elsewhere and I've already got multiple copies of it. But the importance of owning physical media, certain films, or curating a sort of collection of cinema, to me is like a library of curating books. So if you go to the library, if you're looking for a certain book, like a classic or something that you can't get necessarily in print in a bookstore, but you can find it in a library, that is essentially what this is. This is a library, a curated library of essentially the history of cinema. I'm not talking about the packaging or like specific releases. I'm talking about the actual films themselves, which I find a lot of these blue tubers don't seem to care about. They seem to care about the package, not the product. Which, as a film fan, it kind of annoys me, because if you're trying to amass a collection of 100 million Blu-rays, but you don't give a shit about the movies, then why are you wasting your money? But like I did say in the previous one, there's probably 9,000 movies, and I've probably seen 5,000 of them, so there's 4,000 films that I probably haven't seen, which are the ones that I've wasted money on, and probably ones that I'm never going to see. Like, personally, my favourite genres are horror, science fiction, action. I do like comedies, and I do like dramas now and then. There are some dramas that I think are absolutely fantastic, being Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, Forrest Gump, I think is a great movie. Castaway. I'm just going with Tom Hanks movies for some clear reason. I don't know why. But these films are the films that I feel are archived, because you might not be able to find them anywhere else. You might not be able to find them on Blu-ray. They've probably not had a Blu-ray release or a 4K release. They definitely won't have had what they might have had in the case of some of these VHS and Laserdiscs. But I'm going to jump in and explain why I've chosen these films or these sets and releases, and why I think it's important that we need to archive these films for the future. Because, like I said, cinema, like art, like books, like video games, are all their art, and art needs to be appreciated, it needs to be archived, it needs to be displayed, and it needs to be collected. So the first one I'm going to show is the Film Noir collection. Sorry, the lighting, it's silver. This is the Film Noir collection from Universal. This is the DVD. There are 9 films in here. Now, I haven't watched all of these. There are a few that I have seen. I've watched The Glass Key. I've seen The Killers. I've seen The Big Steal. I haven't watched Crossfire. I haven't watched Out of the Past. I haven't watched The Blue Dahlia. I have seen Double Indemnity. I have seen, and I haven't seen Murder My Sweet, but there's one film in here that I absolutely adore, and I would never, ever, ever have thought about this movie without this box set. When I watched this film, I fell in love with it. I had a poster on the wall, and it's a film from 1947. Let me find it. There it is. It's the second one in. It stars Alan Ladd and Veronica Lake. And it's essentially a hitman movie based on a novel by Graham Greene, and it's directed by Frank Tuttle. It's This Gun for Hire. This movie is amazing. It's probably one of the best noir thrillers from the 1940s that isn't as known as other movies from that genre and that period. So This Gun for Hire, like I said, it's a hitman movie. Is it Paul? No, Robert Preston's in it as well. So Alan Ladd plays a man called Raven, a cold-blooded professional killer. And yeah, so if it wasn't for this film, or for this box set that I picked up for $14.99 in a HMV sale, I would never have found this movie. But now, along with all these other films, these sit proudly in an archive. Like, They're up here, next to the Alfred Hitchcock collection. So I don't know if these films have got Blu-ray releases outside of the UK. I think maybe they're in the Kino Lorber Film Noir collections. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I don't import Region A Blu-rays anymore because I can't play them. I have no way of playing them. I can only import Region 3. But here in the UK, I know for certain that these films haven't had, or maybe one or two have. I know definitely Double Indemnity has had a UK Blu-ray release because I own it somewhere. Where is it? So I know that Double Indemnity has definitely had a Blu-ray release because I have the Eureka release. But this is what I'm trying to point out, is that unless you can get a collection of 9 movies from the 1940s that you can now preserve in a box set way, you're already building an archive of cinema history. Now, this is another one. This is a DVD. This is directed by Michael Mann. This was a TV movie. It's a 95-minute movie. It's LA Takedown. LA Takedown is the original version of Heat that was made for television, but then he expanded it into quite possibly the greatest crime thriller of all time. Again, this DVD is released by MIA DVDs or MIA Pictures. God knows, in 2000, this is 23 years old, this release. I don't know if this has ever had a Blu-ray release. I'm not even sure if it had a VHS release, but this is a DVD release. This is a pretty cool film. It's not as good as Heat. Heat is, obviously, we all know Heat is an incredible film. But again, like, LA Takedown, it's a television movie made by Michael Mann as a pilot for a potential television series that he made after Miami Vice. This is now archived in my collection. I don't know if this will ever get a Blu-ray release in the UK. I highly doubt it. But I have a DVD. It might not be the greatest release. It might not have the greatest picture quality. But this is now archived in the collection. Another one, White Sands, directed by Roger Donaldson, starring Mickey Rourke and Willem Dafoe. Really cool early 90s thriller. Samuel L. Jackson's in this as well. I know for a fact this doesn't have a release in the UK, even though it's a Warner Brothers movie. It's never been released by. It wasn't released on the Warner Premium collection. But again, this is in my collection. This is archived in my collection. This sort of random, obscure early 90s thriller. Crime thriller. It's in my collection. It's archived under W. So if I ever need to use it as a reference in either a review or something, I know where it is because I've got it archived. This is not on streaming. LA Takedown is not on streaming. Do you know another film that's not on streaming and which I have never seen on Blu-ray in the UK? Hard Rain. Christian Slater, Morgan Freeman. Cool movie. Where's the UK Blu-ray? Why is it not on streaming? I remember when this film came out in 1998 and the trailers pushed it as being incredible. Like, again, this is archived in my collection under H for Hard Rain, next to Hard Boiled and Hard Target. That's the one I was thinking of. Hard Target. This is archived. I have this in my collection. So if I ever want to watch Hard Rain, I'll know that I've got it. I won't have to go through 5 different streaming services just to find out that it's not available, or if it is available, I have to pay extra on top of a subscription that I already pay for. This is why physical media, these 3 films, just in particular, are archived for me, my personal archive of films. This is film history. This is 2 90s movies, a late 80s movie, 1947 or 1940s noir movies. Again, next one, Biodome, starring Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin. This film is one of my favourite comedies of all time. It is universally hated as being absolute trash. This movie came out at a time when I was getting into punk rock music and skateboarding and sort of that kind of goofy, like stoner comedy type of stuff. I love this film, like not unironically either. Unironically, not ironically. I love this film. This film, if I ever double bill it, I double bill it with Basketball. I love this film. This had a very, very, very small, limited release, I think, from Shout Factory. This is the UK MGM DVD that came out, I think, in 2004. So next year, this DVD is 20 years old. This is in my collection. I can watch Biodome whenever I want. See, this is the importance of owning a collection. Again, like I've said in other videos, you don't need to get every single film under the sun, because there's no space. There's not enough space in the world for it. But if you can archive the films that you love and archive the films that you can't find elsewhere, but you can find a DVD of it. Maybe if you go into a charity shop, you'll find a copy of LA Takedown, and you'll be like, that's the guy who made Heat. Vincent Hanna, that's the cop from Heat. What's he doing in this? Go on, it's 50p. I'll give it a shot. Pop it on. You watch it, and you're like, that's pretty cool. I quite like that. I'll keep that. I'll pop it in the collection. You've then archived, for your future reference and for your future viewing pleasure, LA Takedown, Biodome, Hard Rain, White Sands, and those film noir movies. Now this next film, this is a film that I read about. I loved the idea and the synopsis. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. I'll see if I can find it anywhere. Couldn't find it anywhere. I had to torrent it, which I don't condone, but when there are films that are too hard to get, you have to. This is The Night of the Big Heat. This is a 1967 who directed it? Terence Fisher movie, actually. It's got Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, Patrick Allen, and Sarah Olsen in it. There is a really bad mistake on the back of this case, which says it was released in 2067, which is, I think, a bit wrong. This film is great. It's fun. It is what it is. It's a British science fiction horror movie from the 1960s. It sits alongside Island of Terror and Doomwatch and what else is there? The Damned and Earth Dies Screaming. These are like the quintessential British science fiction movies. And this is a really, really good addition. I mean, the torrent that I found was an old VHS rip. It was watchable. It wasn't a great quality picture. But when I found out that they was getting a Blu-ray release, I was just like, I need to get that. However, and someone asked about this on a previous video, what is my experience with disc rot and stuff? I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, this disc is knackered. And I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to find another copy of this. Because this was released by Screenbound Entertainment. I haven't seen this anywhere else apart from when I was in HMV where I picked it up. So I'm quite sad that I may not be able to get this again. But I do really, really love this. But for a long while, this film, The Night of the Big Heat, was archived in my collection. Now, this next release, if you love like old 1950s science fiction and 1960s science fiction, and you love like the low budget end of that, like the Roger Corman stuff, then the Roger Corman Puerto Rico trilogy, this is the Region 1 DVD, is like, it's kind of a must get if you're a big fan of Roger Corman films. In the UK, there was a couple of companies that would release DVDs, but in super, super low quality. Not even VHS rips. I think they were taken from like shitty Betamaxes and stuff like that, that had just been beaten to fuck back. Killer Shrews was one of them. There was another one as well. I can't remember. The Bog Monster or something like that. But this is the Puerto Rico trilogy. This has The Last Woman on Earth, Creature from the Haunted Sea, and Battle for Blood Island, or Battle of Blood Island. This is the best version of The Last Woman on Earth I've ever seen. This has been released in its original letterbox transfer from 35mm digital transfer. It's still not great, but this is a cheapo $7.99 DVD release from the States. But I have these three kind of sort of rare Roger Corman films just in my collection. If I'm sat there and I'm reading about something, or I'm doing some research for like a review for like Roger Corman's filmography or something like that, I know I've got the reference here because it's archived. I've spent a lot of money. So this film, I don't know how many people know this film. This film was purchased by myself a few years ago when I was doing a challenge to spend as much money as I possibly could on post-apocalypse movies. It wasn't really a challenge that I set myself. It was an obsession. And I was buying basically anything that had sort of post-apocalyptic like setting and stuff. This is a Six-String Samurai. This was directed by Lance Mungia, and stars Jeffrey Falcone, and it's absolutely bonkers, post-apocalyptic, 1950s style rockabilly rock and roll. There is a band in this called the Red Elvises that play these massive guitars. It's absolutely mental. But I've never seen this in the UK. This has never, ever had a release in the UK. This was a chance pickup. I can't even remember where I ordered it from now. This was so long ago, but it was released by Palm Pictures. I think it was Palm Pictures, yeah, in the US, that released foreign and independent movies. I was just like, that looks really cool. There's a guy on the front with a guitar and a samurai sword, and a desert, and what looks like apocalypse punks. So I'll give that a shot. I think I paid $9.99, $12.99, something like that to get it imported. And I bought this on Amazon through a Region 1 seller. And it came, I watched it. I thought it was weird. I enjoyed it. Never seen it available anywhere else since. But this obscure 1998 post-apocalyptic rockabilly movie is now archived in my collection, as I feel it's a piece of cinema history. So the last film I'm going to talk about, which basically gave me the idea for this video, is Walter Hill's The Warriors. Why have I chosen The Warriors? I'll tell you why. This release of The Warriors is the original theatrical cut. This is how it was released. This was how it was shown in cinemas, and this is how it was originally released on VHS and then DVD. This version is not available anymore. You can't buy it on Blu-ray. You can't buy it on DVD. Well, you can buy it on DVD if you find it cheap. This is the unaltered, unedited, unstupid comic book scene transition bullshit that was put in the director's cut, which completely ruined the movie. This original theatrical version is now archived in my collection, along with the director's cut. But if I want to watch this, I just have to go along the shelf to W, find The Warriors, put The Warriors in, and watch the original theatrical version. This is archived. This is in my collection. I don't have to worry about torrenting it. I don't have to worry about looking for a dodgy stream. I don't have to worry about watching a crappy VHS rip on YouTube. I've got a 1080, people I'm talking about. I'm on letterboxed, anamorphic, letterboxed transfer DVD of the original theatrical cut of Walter Hill's The Warriors, one of the greatest gang movies of all time. Which is amazing. That is the power of physical media. You can own a film that is not available anymore, but in its original theatrical state. That is why The Warriors got me thinking about archiving, creating a catalogue, an archive, a collection of films on either DVD or Blu-ray, or if some people still do it, VHS, Laserdisc. You can still buy, you can go into a charity shop, you can go into CEX. CEX sell DVDs for £1, or for 50p, or for £1.50, and you can pick up a DVD copy. I'm not necessarily, I'm just using The Warriors as an example. So go out there. You don't have to buy the Blu-ray. If it's £17 for a Blu-ray, but it's £7 for the DVD, and you're not really thinking, oh, I need the greatest, the best version of that film with all the poster artwork or packaging or fold out insides and posters and shit, just buy the DVD. The DVD. You can find like lost treasures and lost like movies just in the second-hand shops like Cash Generator or CEX or just charity shops and stuff like that. Like I went into HMV the other day. The prices were astronomical on Blu-rays. $24.99 for an Arrow DVD or an Arrow Blu-ray. Most of my Arrow stuff has been bought in sales. I've never pre-ordered an Arrow film. I have a large collection. There are a lot of films that Arrow release that I have no fucking interest in. But what I'm saying is the importance of building your archive, your cinema archive. Not worrying about the format they're on or the packaging that they came in. Worrying about the film. Can you watch the theatrical version of The Warriors? Do you want to watch the director's cut of The Warriors? It's like, do I need like the US whatever limited release of Forbidden Planet on DVD, as well as the Warner archive or the Warner Premiere version? Yes, because that is a better version. Obviously, it's the Blu-ray version. But just amassing a collection of films that you can archive, that you can be like, I really want to watch Collateral, Michael Mann's Collateral. Oh, there it is. Or I really want to watch Darkman 2. You've got the Darkman trilogy. Like Darkman 2. Who wants to watch Darkman 2? I mean, it's a pretty good film. Or you could be like, I want to watch The Hunted, the what's his name? Christophe Lambert film where he has the sword fight on a bullet train from 1995. Like, that's in my collection. In the Line of Fire, the Clint Eastwood movie. G.I. Jane, Gleaming the Cube. Christian Slater skateboard movie with Tony Hawk from 1987. That is in my collection. I got 48 hours and another 48 hours of there. I've got The Big Hit. Like, I'm just looking at the side, and it's mostly action films. But I'm saying, like, these films, you can get them cheap. You can get them really cheap, and you can build yourself an archive. As long as you don't want everything to be like the best of the best of the best of the best if you can't afford it. So I made a video yesterday which I hated, so I deleted it, which was 28 minutes long. This is 31 minutes and currently 31 minutes long. So I'm going to end it here and just say thank you to everybody who has subscribed in the last month since the sad reality of a physical media collector came up, and all the comments and stuff is very much appreciated. I know these videos are getting longer and longer and longer, and it's literally just me talking to my camera for that length of time, and thank you very much for sitting there to watch it. But if you want to know if you want me to talk about something else physical media related, just leave it in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. But for now, peace and love, everybody. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you all again.